Am I the asshole for only paying for myself when my fiancé and future in-laws invited me to a New Year's Eve dinner at a scale restaurant? I, 32 female, just got engaged to my fiancé, 37 male, named Sam. We do not live together because we're waiting till marriage, given he and his family are highly conservative Christians, but they're really nice and lovable people. I had plans to spend New Year's Eve with Sam, but he said he was out for New Year's Eve dinner celebrations with his parents, then called me again, inviting me to join them, and I happily did. His parents were there. They welcomed me and ordered many dishes and desserts and drinks. We celebrated and had a great time. That is, until it was time to pay. I pulled my wallet out of my bag, letting them know that we'll split the check between us. Sam mumbled, "No, you don't have to. We invited you." But I insisted. He and his parents then stared at me. I asked what was wrong, and both mother-in-law and father-in-law said they didn't have money on them. I was shocked. I turned to Sam, and he said he too forgot his wallet at home and didn't bring enough money to cover even one round of drinks. His dad then laughed nervously. "All right, so guess we should let the doctor pay." I was taken aback. I said, "I'm sorry, but no, this is just too much money to spend on one dinner by myself, and I didn't think I was expected to pay the entire bill." Sam said I should pay and he would pay me back later, but I said no, since I know he would have to get a job to pay that much money. I said, "I'm sorry, but this isn't the first time I've been put in this situation by him and family where I'm expected to rescue them after they somehow forgot their wallets and expect brothers to pay hundreds for their extravagant dinner." I told them I'll only pay for what I had and that's it. He and his parents were shocked. They started arguing about how I have the potential to pay right there and then, but I was acting as if they were strangers and not family. But that doesn't mean I'm obligated to pay. How could someone go out to a fancy restaurant, order so many drinks, desserts, and drinks without bringing money? Sam begged that I just do it and call it a night, but I refused. The argument got heated. Then I got up and walked out. Sam called later at 2 a.m., basically yelling that I ruined New Year's Eve celebration and made his parents suffer because I refused to pay the entire bill and instead acted selfishly and paid only for myself after they were gracious enough to invite me. I told him how unfair it was for me to pay. Even if I have a good salary, it doesn't mean I want to spend it all on fancy dinners. He didn't reply. He just said he'll pray that my parents will let this go and not resent me after I basically damaged the relationship with them. I felt awful thinking that I should have just covered the bill instead of leaving. So, am I the asshole for only paying for myself when my conservative Christian fiancé and future in-laws invited me to a New Year's Eve dinner at a scale restaurant? And the top comment coming in with 31,000 upvotes. Not the asshole. They all conveniently left their wallets at home. It doesn't seem likely they forgot them at all, and they invited you with the expectation that you'll pay. You should rethink marrying this guy. He expected you to pay for an expensive meal without your knowledge, and you've been put in this situation before by him. It seems he's using you for money, and that's extended now to his family. They ruined their own New Year's Eve by trying to force someone else to pay for a meal they cannot afford. OP responded back with 20,000 upvotes. Absolutely. And father-in-law's comment about quote unquote letting the doctor pay was the biggest tell for me, though this wasn't the first time I was put in this situation. Next comment, 15,000 upvotes under the OP's comment. 100% don't marry this guy. He doesn't have a job. It doesn't seem like a stay-at-home parent arrangement is in place, so he's essentially leeching off OP, intentionally it seems. They weren't, quote unquote, gracious enough to invite you. If you invite someone out to dinner, you pay. The invite is nothing more than a calculated attempt to get a free meal out of OP. The fact that fiancé didn't stand up for OP and even supported their comments raises a lot of flags. This is not the first time they tried to take advantage of OP financially. It seems like Sam is also in it with his parents because no one leaves their wallets at home conveniently. OP, they're nice to your wallet, not to you. And my vote, this lady is not the asshole, or man, I don't know if it's a guy or a girl that's posted this, but yeah, they're not the asshole. What do you think? The asshole for agreeing to have my family visit for a week after my wife gives birth. My wife, 23, and I, 27, are expecting. She's due this month, and things have been a bit intense recently, with her being extra hormonal. We live in a different state than my family. My wife and I couldn't visit for Christmas. My parents were calling to continue complaining about us not spending Christmas with them and demanded I make it up for them. I said I was open for any suggestions they had, and they suggested they would come stay with us for a week once the baby is born. That way they could spend time with us and the baby as well. I thought, why not? That seemed to be a pretty good suggestion since it's been months since we've seen each other. So I told them to go ahead and make the invitation official. This morning, my wife was talking about her plans once the baby is here, and that's when I remembered my conversation with my parents. I immediately told her that I agreed to let them over for a week once the baby is born to make up for the holiday we missed with them. She first looked shocked, then freaked out at me, saying I shouldn't have invited them just like that without talking to her first. I asked why not, since she loves them and loves being around them, but she explained that my family can be a lot of work and having them as guests while caretaking for a newborn is the last thing she wanted. I told her it was no big deal, besides that we could use the help if she thought about it this way, but she lashed out on me about how the first few days of the baby's life is essential time for bonding and being intimate, and I just took that away from her by inviting my parents and invading her space. I argued that she was being melodramatic right then because my family are decent people and I'm pretty sure they'll make this experience a lot more warmer, but she still disagreed and said if my family were decent, then they wouldn't have accepted my invitation. But I clarified to her that I did not invite them, and this was in fact a suggestion made by them, and I just agreed after they complained to me about missing spending family holiday time with them. She went off on me demanding that I call them and cancel everything I planned with them, but I thought that was unacceptable since she gave not a good enough reason for me to do that, and besides, my parents can help, but she still denied that being true. She's gone radio silent for the rest of the day and is acting like my family are somehow making her uncomfortable, though they're not the judgmental or intrusive type and are just about spending time with each other. So am I the asshole for agreeing to have my family visit for a week after my wife gives birth? And the top comment coming in with 60,000 upvotes. You're the asshole. Until you push a human out of your body and suffer the physical consequences of it, you absolutely don't get to mansplain that it is no big deal and not a good enough reason. Your wife will have just pushed a fair-sized melon out of her body. There is a good chance she will have to be torn or cut. There is a good chance she won't be able to sit down. She will potentially be in a diaper and have walnut-sized clots of blood coming out of her body. There is a chance that the bathroom will not be guest ready after she has been in there because it will look like an abattoir. Are you cleaning up every single time she goes in there? Her milk will come in on about day 5, which is often extremely painful, causing a huge hormonal surge and causes the milk blues. Her nipples will not yet have hardened up and might crack and bleed. Your baby may be an angel, but then again, it may not. Your wife might be feeling very, very tired because she will be feeding very frequently, meaning she won't sleep. She will be exhausted. She's going to look like shit and she's going to cry a lot. And you think none of this is a good reason to not want to host guests. In short, the only people who should be staying with you are the people who have seen her naked and could actually help her in the bathroom, like her mother, sister, or husband. And my vote, this guy is the asshole. It's so hard because guys can't give birth. I don't know anyone that was born with a penis give birth. And they just don't know what it's like. I pushed a kid out and wow, let me tell you. I mean, it was great, but it was very painful. Yeah, my vote, this guy's the asshole. Let me know what you guys think.